The second pick the Lions had, pick number 18. Once again, they did something we did not expect, right? And they went for a linebacker, Jack Campbell, who I think a lot of people hoped would fall to us in the second round. It's obvious that probably would not have happened, but people were not happy about this, Chris. What do you have to say to the people who didn't like the draft of Jack Campbell at middle linebacker at number 18?
Yeah, you and I both initially were shocked as
We were
well,
shocked.
just because wasn't something we were thinking about. We were kind of trained by Brad Holmes to get weird, go for a big play receiver, something like that. And this
premium positions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually, the more we looked at it, and we'll prove to you here in just a second, this actually makes a ton of sense, and we're really excited about it. We weren't at first.
We weren't.
We're just like, man, Jack Campbell. And Jack Campbell is a big, you look at him and he looks big, slow, but you dig in a little bit more.
I even said he looked like a tight end playing linebacker.
Yeah. You look in and it's like, wait, did we just draft our cornerstone defensive player, linebacker, and really, don't forget, we had a good story at linebacker with Malcolm Rodriguez.
Yes,
we did. He's smaller. He's not your guy that you're just like, let's build a defense around this guy. And then Anzalone, just a couple of years ago, was just this fill in, and he's done well. And he earned a contract this offseason. He's a good player. Thank you, Anzalone, for being here. But where's our juice? Where's our guy? And we actually found a guy with some juice. What was your initial thoughts, and then where have you come?
Yeah, so my initial thoughts were, like I said, he looks tall, he looks kind of gumpy to an extent, but his tape is pretty good. Oh, yeah. And I mean, like his PFF, which you can say what you want about PFF. Some people love it, some people hate it. His numbers are out of control. And so my initial thought was, what does he do well? And then I found out what he does really well is pass protection, but he also does run stopping well too. He basically does everything well. Yes. And I think that's because he has a size speed combo. And then we looked up his raw athletic score.
Yes.
Because I was like, well, he doesn't seem like he's a great athlete. Why don't you give the people a little something?
So what we're looking at, just high level, it's hard to see, but Jack Campbell's on the left hand side here. They're comparing him with TJ Watt. Same on the other side as Jack Campbell compared with Leighton Vander Esch.
Yep.
And the max score is a 10. The max score is a 10. And
do you know who got a 10?
9. Who got a 10?
That would be one. I don't know if you're showing this page right now or not. That would be one Brian Urlacher.
Is just the all-time at a 10.
At a 10.
So we're looking at Jack Campbell with a 998. And so what that means is you look at his card, you start putting you composite everything that he can do, and it's like, 10-yard split, 20-yard split, 40, lateral, broad jump, vertical jump,
3-cone.
It's all there. And it's all really good, better than TJ Watt, better than Leighton Vander Esch. And so it's like, I didn't realize that.
I thought he was just a heady defensive player from Iowa that you should take in the second round because he's going to struggle keeping up with NFL caliber speed.
Yes.
Not true.
That's right.
It's just not true. He has speed. He has lateral quickness. In fact, lateral quickness is one of his absolute best parts. He has length, which helps him tremendously in covering tight ends. He's not a guy you're going to put on a slot receiver, but what linebacker is.
Yep.
Right. So that was one of the knocks on him. I saw one of the negatives was he's not twitched up enough to play in the slot. Okay. What you're looking at is a top 5 or 10 linebacker ever drafted as far as a raw athletic score. So here's what I want to say unequivocally. You can miss me with he's not athletic enough to play middle linebacker. He's shockingly athletic. I think we just didn't see it coming because he's a tall white guy.
Yep.
And when you look at everything, he has the size, he has the speed, he has the arm length, he's got the hops, he's got the broad jump, everything.
And
is down.
You compared him perfectly to Aiden Hutchinson. We thought the same thing, really. It's like, hey, Aiden, good, hard
tries
worker. Hard. Yeah, high motor, love that. And then you look at his RAS score and all of his measurables, like this dude is the most athletic.
He's twitched up.
He's the most athletic defensive lineman in the draft.
Yeah.
And we got him last year, and you saw it last year. He held his own. So you're right. Jack Campbell seems like a guy.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah, Jack Campbell seems like a guy that is like, cool. He's real smart. He's played at Iowa. He was the captain. All the intangible stuff that's like, that's he is all that. Plus, he's actually legitimately athletic as can be.
He was the centerpiece to what has been an elite defense the last 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
And they're doing it with not as great of athletes at Iowa as most teams would have. Yep. And he's just good. And part of the reason he's that good is because he's multiple. He can do everything. And I think when we turned on the film last year of Malcolm Rodriguez, we'll go back to the Malcolm Rodriguez thing. We all thought to ourselves, how did this guy fall? Like, how did he fall to the 6th round? And it doesn't make sense. And then Jack Campbell, it's almost the exact opposite. So one of two things happened here. Either Brad Holmes was a little too smart for his own good, or he had done more research than we had done. He knows the test scores. He knows the tape that backs it up. But here's what you want to see. When you see a guy that is really good on tape, but his athletic score might be even better than his tape, that's a good combo.
Yeah.
I get scared with the guys that do nothing on tape and put up a good RAS.
That's right.
Right? I get scared about guys who put the tape up but have a horrible RAS. But when you have a guy who has good tape and a good raw athletic score, why are we not like? I think the better question is, why did we all rank him at like 40?
Yeah. And we make fun of Iowa, but Iowa for the last 2 years, unbelievable defense with zero offense. Like zero.
No, zero. That offense from the Stone Age.
So they're out there constantly and they play the same defense. And the reason they play the same defense is he can cover and he can get upfield, make plays at the line of scrimmage, and he's athletic enough to cover. And I think his coverage ability is really, everyone's like, oh yeah, he can cover. Well, it's like, how can you cover then if you're slow and all this? Like, he's not.
Because he's not.
Right. So,
and he's long.
Oh, man, he
has length.
And so Urlacher is like, is he Brian
That's
Urlacher?
Pie in the sky.
Right. No, but he's the same size. He's athletic as him. He's smart. So you just have to look at it like, what's the worst and best case scenario? The best case scenario is we have someone similar to Brian Urlacher. Worst case scenario, I mean,
starting NFL linebacker.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, he's Anzalone. Worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, which would be a bummer at pick 18.
Yeah, it would. But it's like he's just like you've got something here, and we've just gotten way more excited about it the more that we've looked at this, because I did not know how athletic and good he was.
He's within an inch and a pound of Leighton Vander Esch and Brian Urlacher. He's within an inch and 10 pounds of those two guys, is what I meant to say.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Within an inch, I think he's 7 pounds off each or something like that. And you don't expect him to get smaller now that he's in the NFL. He's going to hit the weight room even harder, but he's within an inch and a pound, and he has the same athleticism score as those two guys. If his head's anywhere close, his floor is a good top 15 middle linebacker in the NFL. That's the floor if his head is anywhere close. So when knowing that, like all of a sudden you realize, like, okay, this is probably not a bad pick.
This is probably not a bad pick. I know. So oh man, we like it.
we like it now.
It screwed us up at first, but let us
see it coming. It was like Josh Pascal last year.
Exactly.
Just didn't see it coming, and then all of a sudden we're like, yeah, we kind of like the pick, but I'm more on board, I think, with Jack Campbell even.
Yes.
Than I was with Pascal.
This is such a need. We did not have a good. This has been a need for 10 years. A linebacker of any sort.
We have studs. We have a stud on the D line.
Yep.
With Hutch, we have a stud or two in the secondary. We just had guys. We didn't have studs at linebacker.
No.
And this guy has the potential to be that.
Yes. We can fall in love with the Malcolm Rodriguez story. It's a really good story. Really cool. Really good player.
And we love Malcolm.
Yeah,
and he's a great player who's going to be really good for this team. I just don't know if he's your 17 games a year starting middle linebacker.
We have a starting middle linebacker. It's like, yes, let's go. So let us know your thoughts in the comments, where you're at with it, and we'll see all of you on the next one.
See ya.